So first and foremost, thank you everyone for being here. We know you took some time out of your Friday, and hopefully you're having a wonderful Friday, and you get a lot out of this webinar that we put together for you. So the subject is called Smarter Conversations with AI: What's Here and What's Next. And Will, just head over to the next slide, and we'll go over pleasantries. So first, let's start with who's on the call on our end. So my name, for those who don't know, is Vincent Finaldi. I'm the Vice President of Sales. I've been doing this professionally for, oh my God, 18 years now. So the years are starting to fly by. And most of my time is spent working with our awesome clients or new businesses out there in the tri-state area. So Damon, why don't you, oh, sorry, Matt, you're next. Why don't you give a little introduction of yourself and what you do here?
Hey everyone, I'm Matt Gavin. I'm the operations manager here at TeleCloud. I've been in telecom for 15 years, and the picture that you're looking at is me, Will, and Vin at an event that we greatly enjoy going to.
Hi, everyone.
And
My
Damon?
name's Damon Finaldi. I'm president at TeleCloud. I love working with our clients and our team members. That's a recent picture. I just had a birthday this past weekend, and I dragged my family on a mandatory hike, and I made them hike up a small mountain. So they told me they loved it afterwards, but I'm not so sure. Anyway, we had a ton of fun. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. And so here's what we're going to cover today. So from a time perspective, we wanted to give you a lot of value in a short period of time. So we're expecting this to go about 30 minutes. And if you have any specific questions, because we have a lot of clients on the call that are all unique businesses. So if you have any specific questions about your account, your product, your service, your pricing, anything, you could just email us directly at the end and we'll give you the how to get in touch with us after the webinar. But for the sake of the content we wanted to cover what we've seen from an AI perspective and how we're seeing businesses using it. We wanted to give you takeaways of what you can do now with TeleCloud to get more out of the system. So there are features and capabilities we've added today that we'll walk you through. And then very importantly is our product roadmap. So this is Q4 of this year, Q1 of 2026. What best in class products, especially AI related, are we rolling out that we can pass on to you and see if it makes sense for you and your business. So that's what we wanted to cover today. And we want to encourage you. There is a Q&A chat section of the webinar. By all means, if you have any questions off the top of your head, just drop a question. Don't be shy. We're going to monitor it as we go, and we'll try to address it just directly or after the fact if we can't get to it. But that's what we wanted to do. And so why don't we take it, Dame, why don't you take it away to set the landscape for the AI slide and kind of what you're seeing from a business perspective.
Sure. I think like many of us, we're hearing this buzz of AI every day in our personal and professional lives. To make everyone chuckle, the best use I found in my personal life is able to take my photos of my childhood friends and change the sports team jerseys on them and then text everybody on the group text. But that doesn't have a really relevant value to our businesses. So what are we seeing here? It's moved beyond hype now. I mean, we've been hearing about this now for a couple of years, but we're starting to see now with these initiatives that they're scalable and productized in different parts of our business. It's really no longer optional. It's definitely central to strategy, operations, and revenue growth. We're seeing it in a number of different areas. So it's the ultimate enabler because it impacts cloud, cybersecurity, data, and most importantly, customer experience. We're going to touch on some of this today. In our upcoming webinars, we're going to come back to you with more detail on how we're building out things like agentic AI, or whether we're working with CRMs in order to help you guys enable your businesses. But for the purposes of today, we always take a crawl, walk, and run approach to any technology. So we're going to cover some of it today, but in our next webinar, we'll get into much more detail. On the slide there, you're just seeing some of the names of some of the AI tools that we've run into, both within our client base and our open broad spectrum market. We're not going to dive into this detail today. It's coming next. By the time we're done with this webinar, there's going to be 2 valuable takeaways you'll be able to turn on your system today. So you'll hear about it shortly. Matt, why don't you take us to the next slide here?
Yeah. So some of you may already have this feature. Some of you may be interested in it. It is AI call transcription. So As long as you have recording enabled, we have the ability within our existing portal to transcribe your calls, and that makes them searchable via text. So you can use that search box that you're seeing there on the screen, search for words or phrases or any terminology. You can filter by who the speaker is. You can filter by the sentiment of that call. And everything is fully summarized and given in topics. So, Will, if you skip over to the next slide there, as you'll see in the portal, that everybody can see that these fields are in their portal, but to enable the feature, it's something that we can do for you, where you'll be able to see how your call activity is going and be able to see from a high level what's going on in your calls.
And Matt, right now, if someone didn't have this thing, this is the first form of what we'll call data enrichment, right? Because you could have a recorded call. And what would happen if someone had to get into a specific spot case where it was a he said, she said, a training opportunity, and they didn't have this?
I mean, in traditional call recording, you're listening to the whole call and having to analyze it yourself and figure out what point of that call you're looking for. This gives you the opportunity to kind of look through the transcription and find where you need to go and just drop right into the portion of that call that you need to hear. So if your handle time is somewhere around the 10-minute mark or 20-minute mark even, you could skip halfway into the call exactly where you need to listen and get the information you need out of that call.
Great. And if someone, Matt, eventually wanted to take the call transcription or the data and put it into another system or software or database, can they do that?
Yep, it's exportable to CSV and includes all the same information that the portal has. So all of your speakers, the sentiment, and the transcription itself.
And if some of our clients are a little bit more adept at using software tools and APIs, can you move the data that way also?
Yeah, absolutely. There's API access to the transcriptions as well.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Next slide here. So this is our voicemail dashboard. Now, I know it's going to not sound so great depending on what role you have in the business, but I got a call from a large car dealership, and he asked me, "Hey, look, I'm not sure if we're getting complaints and managers are getting those calls. Are they checking their mailboxes?" And this is a request, guys. I've been in telecom my whole career. We've gotten time and time again because we all know you want to check your voicemail, and sometimes there's escalation. But one of the nice things about our software is we're able to build tools very quickly now. So I got this call from the general manager. We talked to one of our engineers, John, and he put this together in under 24 hours. And what you're looking at here is simply an unheard voicemail report. So if we go into our tools page, and Matt is going to show you how to do that later, you can then go and select the unheard voicemail, and that'll give you a listing of every mailbox on the system and how old the last unheard message is and the oldest unheard message is. Now, before anyone reacts, we did color code it, so green, yellow, red. We do find some of our clients get their voicemails emailed to them, and then the users don't delete the mailboxes. And that could be the case here. So if you see this as an admin, and this is available for any office manager or admin, the people may have checked the messages, they're just not deleting the voicemails, and we can change settings for you to have those auto delete. So this is the first time you'll be able to see the whole voicemail enterprise. You can't listen to the messages, but you'll see the oldest messages there. And this solves a lot of problems for some businesses that have a bigger enterprise, or more importantly, they just want to make sure everyone's being attentive to those key voicemail boxes. Next one up, we have Vince.
All right. Thank you. So we work with a lot of clients that invest so much energy and time into scheduling the inbound call. So if you're a business where you have the right phone set up from a call center perspective, you staff appropriately, you have best in class CRM with all the data, so you could do everything right and still miss the damn call. So a lot of clients are saying, hey, if I do have a missed call or an abandoned call, whether it's 2 a day or 10 a day, even when we do everything right, is there a better way to manage it? So what we found is we are able to enable text messaging on your business numbers. So what we're calling it is a missed call to text capability. And what we love about it is it works 24/7. So if whether a patient calls in or a customer and you might be in the appointment scheduling business, or where the phone call results into revenue. Any missed call can send an automated text message to the cell phone number with any message that you want. So if you go to the next page, we gave some examples that might make sense to you. Like, for example, thanks for reaching out. You can book any book your call here at resi.com, whether you're in the restaurant business or a healthcare or a trades business where you have online scheduling. So we could take any scheduling link and put it into the SMS. Something is straightforward. If you have it on a personal direct dial line, so let's say someone's in inside sales or a customer service rep. So if there's a missed call on a personal line, you can also send a more personal message like, hey, I missed your call. You could email me here at my personal email and I'll get right back to you. So my point is there's a couple ways we could do it from a system-wide perspective, from a personal direct dial line perspective. But the point is we're getting a lot of requests from our clients to SMS enable their business phone numbers. And there's much more feature-rich tools now to just make communicating with your patient or your client quicker.
Yeah, and I think for all of us, even as consumers, this originally came from some of our industries that were in uh, healthcare, urgent care, dental, some of our restaurants. I mean, we all know when we call a pizzeria, but you don't want to leave a voicemail. And sometimes a 16-year-old person can screw up your order. So instead of leaving a voicemail, you'll get an auto text with the online ordering link. And it's just one of those things that's meant to improve the client experience. And once again, give them another option to interact with the business than maybe you've given them in the past.
Thanks, and I'll close with from an SMS texting perspective, we're able to do it on the phone number missed call itself and also in your auto attendant. So if you're a type of business that, let's say you have a night auto attendant at 7 o'clock and you might get a few calls where you could prompt say, hey, if you'd like to receive a text message, press 2 in the auto attendant, and then the system can send an SMS as well. So we have a couple different ways to kind of help clients in this area, and we're finding it that there's really no downside because you're just communicating more often and automatically with your potential buyer or your customer.
Well, and for those people that want to know where the original advent of this was, is we were driving through New Haven, Connecticut, and we were trying to go to one of those famous pizzerias that Barstool Sports rated highly, and they're really hard to get in touch with. So when we called in and tried to order the pizzas for pickup, they said, hey, if you'd like to get our online order system, press 2, and it texted us, and we went, wow. We're getting our pizzas on time. So the advent of this is you're going to start seeing this more and more in all the different businesses we interact with on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you. Next slide, Will. Matt, you mind giving a little direction on the where for our clients the tools are?
Of course. So as Damon mentioned, as long as you're an office manager, admin in the portal, and that's just the user permission scope, and you navigate yourself over to the tools page, you'll find both of these new tools and a ton of other useful tools if you've never been there before. But we can help you set them up if you don't understand how to. But for the most part, that's where you're going to go.
Sure. And Matt, for our clients that maybe haven't enabled SMS on their business platforms yet, is that just something they can click and it works right away?
Once we have it set, it's pretty easy to do that setup. There is some back end work that needs to be done in registering your business with the campaign registry, which is a compliance body that the government created.
Yeah, I think many of us are finding out that this time of year we're getting ton of political texts, but across the country there are initiatives to cut down on robo-texts. I don't know how successful they are, but the campaign registry actually takes your business entity and registers the business with the text message number so they know it's actually coming from you.
That's great.
Next slide. The future, one of my favorite things to talk about. So depending on where you are, once again, in the AI learning, you have 3 different things we're going to talk about and described that are coming up in the next 2 quarters. The first one is AI Receptionist. That is going to be the robot that can answer phone calls and do things. The next one we'll talk about is conversational AIs. And then we're also going to be lastly talking about some of the more advanced SMS capabilities we see in the TeleCloud platform. So why don't we move on to the next slide here? Matt, why don't we tell everyone a little bit more about what an AI receptionist can do?
Yeah, so we're seeing this in a lot of different industries and businesses right now with AI reception. So the primary use case that we've seen is the after hours calls, right? So no longer do you need to send them to an automated attendant, to a voicemail box where somebody's going to check it the next day. The AI receptionist can usually field those after hours quick calls with some information. Some of the other places that we're seeing it is actually going into your systems and doing the scheduling work and completing the job that needs to be done there. So a lot of different trades are using it. We see HVAC companies and service industry customers using it right now, specifically for the after hours calls, but it's someone who can answer in your brand voice 24 hours a day and get customers the answers that they need.
And so we've had some experience now with our auto dealerships that have done this for service appointment. We've had a couple service trade companies try to put in a dispatcher at 4 p.m. and we even had some restaurants try to use this. The one thing I want to caution with, guys, is there's a ton of companies offering this right now in the marketplace. Some have only been in business for a couple of years. And with some of our clients that have been early adopters, there have been times where this has not worked well. For instance, one of the service trade operations was supposed to route calls to the on-call or the plumber or electrician, and the AI receptionist, when I answered it because it was a franchise, told the customer they weren't allowed to service them. And clearly that's not a good outcome. So there's definitely got to be some guardrails on when you go to deploy this technology. It's not a set it and forget it. It's going to be setting it up, and the more you can train it to behave the way you want your business to behave, the better it's going to work. But someone is actually still going to have to, I'll say, we manage people and tasks and processes. Somebody has to manage the robots too. So our role here as we're looking out into the future is to help find the right partners and to help you deploy these technologies in your businesses where you need them. But if the robot can't do it, making sure you get it back to a person or the process that can still give a great client experience. I mean, for all of us, we don't want to go from getting complaints on a bad customer experience because somebody didn't answer a call right to a bad customer experience because of a bad robot, right? It's at the end of the day, we're all doing this to improve our businesses and to make things better, but we got to do it right. Next one up. Oh, conversational AI. All right. So what is this? So Matt showed earlier when we can transcribe these calls right on any call recording, there's a lot of data. And once again, in our business, I've always known the information we have about our clients' businesses is invaluable for you, but you've never really been able to harness it. The reality of it is no one person can listen to every client communication that occurs within an enterprise. It's impossible unless you own a lemonade stand. So if you have a lemonade stand, you can probably talk to every one of your customers every day. But short of that, it's too complex. So what's happening now? We're able to take all the calls that are on the platform and the key data points, and we're going to be able to put those into a language model using AI. And from there, bring information to the surface that's highly valuable to the business. So once again, with our clients on this webinar, you're all in different industries, but there may be key things that you want to see that are occurring, either phrases that are said or information that you need to surface up to the top. And an insights dashboard will allow you to harness all those conversations and tie out to other key pieces of information. So for me, one of the things that I think is very important is we'll have clients that said, well, like, look, sometimes somebody may ask for a manager. Now we'll be able to put what's called a trigger alert. So if someone says those words, we can set up a notification that goes maybe to a manager's cell phone or an email distribution list so somebody can get ahead of a quality assurance problem or a standardization issue. And by the way, this is just the beginning. What's interesting about having all this data now in the language models is we can do more and more with it as we train the language model to operate within your business. So conversational AI is different than the robot because this is actually the live calls happening on the TeleCloud platform, and that can be on a phone, a web phone, or even a mobile app. But it's all data and it's all interacting with your business. Matt's been even able to, with some of our clients, tie this out to CRM data too. So really highly valuable stuff and very actionable. more to come here in the future.
Thank you.
Next.
Yeah, so I'll take this one. So the last couple of years, more and more our clients are demanding more robust SMS suite of messaging. So what we found to kind of make it lighthearted, do you ever accidentally text a landline and you get, like, when you text the number and you get the auto response, like, this is a landline number, you can't communicate with it? So what we're finding is it's so practical for businesses for a couple use cases. If you have a main number on Google listing, those that might get text message. So you could easily turn that on from a business SMS standpoint and have a number of outcomes. It could message a team of people, so not just one person. So if you have inside sales or appointment scheduling or a Google listing number and there's activity on the line, it's very manageable nowadays to assign, 2 or 3 or 4 people, like a group, a team, to manage the SMS. So it's not just on one person. And then what we're also finding is clients are asking us for auto replies. Like, hey, if I get a text message at 8 o'clock at night, can I give an auto reply to it just to give the potential customer or buyer, directions on what to do next? And the answer is, of course. So what we're finding is the same client wants to utilize SMS in a lot of ways for their business. Not all use cases are the same, but something as simple as reporting on the activity, or what we call text blasting. So if you're in the type of business where you want to communicate to 50, 100, 200 customers at once, it's much easier to do it. I mean, obviously you could do it via email, but the alternative is doing a text blast where you could offer a sale, a promotion, or whatever it is that your business would apply to. So from a platform perspective, we're rolling this out at the end of Q4, so we're almost there, and then we're going to be helping clients with a lot more robust SMS solutions,
Yeah.
and not all use cases are the same.
And Vin, I know the use cases are going to be vary by industry, but we even saw a situation where we had a large business that had a large fleet of technicians, and they were texting the dispatchers, but it was on everyone's individualized cell phones. So you had 20 dispatchers with all these field technicians,
Yeah,
and there was no consistency over.
yeah, it's a great, and you kind of get into, because it's kind of easy to get lost with tech. Like really, what's the point? The point is, a lot of businesses are having their team members individually send so many text messages out to customers, out to vendors, out to patients. And it's, if you have a team of 40 people and everyone has their own individual Verizon cell phone with SMS, there's no aggregate, there's no data, there's no way to manage it from a business standpoint. It's very difficult. So what a platform like this does, it at least gives you a fighting chance to organize the SMS into what I would call like business workflows with proper staffing and management. And it isn't as chaotic as, well, everyone just does text messaging on their own and there's no real plan. So it just puts a little more maturity behind certain areas of the text messaging suite for companies.
Thanks, Vin.
Yeah, sure. Next, and first and foremost, thank you for spending some time with us. If you have any questions about your particular account, anything, it doesn't matter whether it's about this webinar or something unrelated, you could just drop us a line at sales@telecloud.net. I'll be monitoring it for the next couple hours with my team. And we really appreciate your time and spending some time with us. And Will, did we get through all the questions in the chat? I did see a couple questions.
You did. We have one question here. How does the AI receptionist train its model? Is it based on our feedback of its responses?
It's a great question, Eric.
I'll take the first stab at this, and then Matt, if you
Go ahead.
want to weigh in on this. So whenever you roll out an AI receptionist, it's no different than training a person that joins the business. The more you can tell it about your business, and how to respond to things, the better you're going to be. So if you don't have any documentation, chances are you're going to have to get some of that documentation together. But it also depends on how simple you want it. If it's a basic answer a phone call and route, and it's just using natural language, you don't need to do much there. Maybe you're just routing to people or departments or having it do things. Now, if you have it going a level deeper, which is scheduling appointments, or reading other data, now you need to have integrations into other softwares that are currently doing that in the business. So, Matt, you want to add a little bit more about training the AI receptionist and whether or not it's going to continue to learn with its
So We've definitely seen a multitude of different systems and how they're being trained. There's sort of the bare bones model, which is you type the prompt and adjust it as needed. We've seen some some platforms are offering a solution where it'll do some basic digging on your website and figure out who you are and what your brand voice looks like and your hours of operation, things like that. But I think probably the most important part is going to be triggering when the AI can no longer answer the question and give it to a human being. That's where the training is going to become invaluable for businesses, right? When that happens, that's when we can go in and say what lack of knowledge was there and train the receptionist better.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So I think that concludes it. It's 12:26, so we're right on time. Hope everyone out there is enjoying some lunch and Friday. And as always, please reach out to us. We really value you guys as our clients. And have an awesome Friday and weekend.